What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about the easiest way for you to maximize your electric output in Once Human. So before we get started, one of the first things we're going to have to talk about is the advanced solar generators. These are probably one of the best, if not the best way to maximize your electric output currently in the game. The problem is, to really utilize this, you actually need the mimetic specialization that makes your solar generators output more electricity. If you do not have that, these are actually not the most effective way to generate electricity for you as a player. Now, by far and away, the Deviation Energy generator would be the best to use because it just generates energy from ambient stardust matter in the air. The problem is you have to be in areas that generate stardust. And when you're in those, typically they lower your max health. There are a few sort of ways to get around this, putting your base on the very edge and putting these on the backside of your base. But for the most part, it's not really as practical. These are very situational, and most players will not find this to be the best way to power their base. So that leaves us two options. One, the hydraulic generator, which is great if your base is positioned on water, but this also requires your base to be in a very specific location. Outside of that, its base power produced is 25, which is a good number, but there is one thing we can do that will beat this and let you put your base basically anywhere you want to go. And yes, we are talking about the advanced biomass generator. Now, for a lot of people, when you see this, your first thought is, I don't feel like gathering flowers and tossing all of my spoiled food in the biomass generator. It seems like a hassle, and most people will just cut their energy needs and use the solar panels because it is effectively less work. Basically, you put the solar panels up and you forget about them. And this is where my next tip really comes in. In order to really utilize the biomass generator, you need to go get one very specific deviant. And that deviant is the beaver. So the easiest place to get a beaver is at Myers Market. Once you teleport in, if you head down to the docks, right at this exact location, 5697 negative 6659, you should see a beaver floating here in the air. If for whatever reason you don't find it, the easiest thing to do is to go back to the teleporter in Myers Market and switch worlds, and then run back down and see if the deviant has spawned. If it hasn't, just rinse and repeat swapping worlds until you're able to find and catch this deviant. Now, once you get your beaver deviant, you will want to set it up in your base somewhere near crops and with music. The electricity is optional, and while it will help improve the efficiency, depending on how much excessive electricity you have, you might want to forego powering the beaver up for right now. Effectively, the beaver will go out and gather wood for you. And once you start to get far enough in the game where you're using electricity to smelt, you will start to actually really not care about wood at all. And you might even really disregard it as a resource. And that is where you will hurt yourself in the long run. Because as you can see here, you can actually use your logs as fuel in your advanced biomass generator and effectively turn your beaver into an absolute monster. Just having one beaver alone will be enough to typically keep 1 to 2 of these biomass generators completely full of logs. And as you can see here, even without the generator being full, it has 126 hours worth of power. And if you really want to, you can actually take this to a whole nother level by unlocking the logging platform in Mimetics. Essentially, you build this platform and your beaver uses the platform for you and will gather even more wood than it would by itself. Now I know this seems like a very small thing, but this is actually a really good solid tip, because in later stages of the game, you will be moving your base more than likely to some place to gather oil or to gather acid. And you will want to run a lot of refiners or purifiers to maximize your output of those resources. And one of the best ways to do that is to ensure you have the most electricity you can get in your base. And this is one of the easiest ways to maximize your electricity output. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider leaving the video a like and come over and check me out on Twitch on the weekends when you get some time. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.